So who are some of the people that have had these kind of profound influences on you? I mean, obviously Roger is one of them, but who are some of the other people or methodologies that have kind of been either the big part of the puzzle or those little keys that uh, unlocked the knowledge that was kind of, like you said, was out of context?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of it is working with the various books and things like that, and it was, it would be hearing somebody someplace and then saying, well, I always worked on this, and then kind of saying to them, okay, what's the basics of how you do that? And which book do I need to get? Because I'm moving on next week, you know. And so that's how that would often come around. But I mean, some of the other influential people in that regard, I mean, I had great tips at one stage when I was still back in college from the great Derek Watkins, who came through to do a workshop at school. And, I was actually checking out his signature horn on the trade stand, trying to play some high notes because I still fancied myself as the high note guy, even when I didn't know what I was doing, back in those days. This is again mid-90s or something like that. But I'm sitting there and I'm trying to play a double high C, and I get a tap on the shoulder going, put the second and third valve down and don't blow as hard. And it's Derek, you know, listen, you sound all right, but that's why you're not doing it. And I mean, I didn't get so much more information than that from him. I didn't really, until many years later, have a chance to talk with him at any length. Um, but that was an important thing because he was one of my heroes growing up. He was the man as far as we were all concerned
Oh
in the
yeah.
UK. One of the greats of all time, and you know, very sadly missed now. He's been gone now for a number of years, and you know, I still hear that sound when I play. That's the kind of the pinnacle of my early experiences was hearing what he sounded like, both on records and live. He was an extraordinary influence. But then, I mean, there's other influences over the years. Brian Lynch is a close friend of mine, and I've learned an enormous amount from Brian in I guess it's probably almost 30 years that I've known him now. I met Brian when I was working as a stagehand at my small town jazz festival when he came through with Phil Woods in '92. So, I've known Brian for a long time. And I mean, his thing is much more about approaches to playing jazz and different music and things like that. Some chopped stuff as well, you know. But he's an absolutely. Have you had Brian on the podcast yet? I'm sure that
I
would be
have
really
not.
interesting.
I have not. I need to I need to get connected with him somehow. So
Oh, we can make that happen. I'm sure
all right.
that would be really valuable for everybody.
All right.
Um, so he was another extraordinary influence, and then just different people that you work with as you go around. I've had occasion to work a little with Roger. I've had occasion to meet and talk with so many people. We played the show in Los Angeles, and I had Rick Baptiste and Dan Finero on the bandstand with me for 2 weeks. And they were very kind to me and took me around to do the kind of trumpet sites and things like that and see some sessions. And I got to meet a lot of people, including Wayne Bergeron and like great Warren Looning and Ewan Racy and all kinds of people like that through those connections.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's all those experiences. Sometimes it's just snippets, but it sets you off on a path and re-engages the interest, so you start looking at things again.
Yeah. Well, and I think that right there is so crucial that sometimes we want everything laid out in front of us. We want to get a 10-hour lesson, or we want someone to take us under our wings and mentor us for 30 years. But sometimes the best lessons are just like the one you got from Derek, which is just that one little bit of information
Mm-hmm.
can just lead you down a path that's going to give you so much stuff that you never expected. But
Sure.
it just all starts with that one simple thing. And I think sometimes we tend to you know ignore ignore the small stuff,
Hmm.
and but that's the stuff that's the foundation for all the big changes.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, but I think the big part of it is as you find yourself in situations as a musician, you've got to be willing to, look for those moments and pay attention when somebody says something. You know, don't get so caught up in, I'm on the gig, so I'm already good. Thanks. You know, I learn things all the time. I'm fortunate to play with a bunch of great players. I live in New York City, but there's always something to learn. And, something somebody plays sparks a conversation, which then creates a new context for something, and you come away with something to really think about and start to experiment with in the practice room the next day. That happens all the time, and I love that stuff.